Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Casual for those who are new here. I'm doing something a little bit different than I normally do, which is a voiceover for a speed build. Normally I have the little cam set up in the side, but I just wasn't really feeling that today because I wanted to show off more of my process, I guess, because for those who don't know, I am not really a builder. I'm more of a designer, if that makes sense. So I really like to find shells in the gallery and then redo the inside. But I'm trying to be a little bit more, not innovative, well-rounded, I suppose. And so I decided to go off of a floor plan for an apartment and then make it into a house. So that's what I did. I'll show you the floor plan that I was kind of going off of, but it was a struggle to say the least. This I had to cut down from being 2 hours long and it's not even a big house, and I didn't even landscape it on camera, but I will show you that in the end of the video. So I used a lot of eco lifestyle windows because I love the look of not necessarily a modern house, but the houses with a lot of big windows and a lot of natural light I think are really cool. This is the back deck that we're looking at right now. I do have the subtle saucer lights everywhere because I hate building in the dark, and even though the windows are so large, it ended up being really dark inside, so I had to fix that. Also, forgive the roof because I'm still not good at roofing, but I'm trying my best. I kind of hit it with some trees later on, but it's still not that great. I also tend to try to mix match cabinets, but it just was not working today. The lack of upper cabinets for the amount of lower cabinets that we have is kind of sad. I understand that a lot of people have the open concept, like just shelf cabinets nowadays, but I personally don't like them. I don't have any in my own house. I will never have any, so I normally don't build with them either. Unless it's the Jungle Adventure open shelves and then I can put stuff on them, then maybe. But I don't tend to use a lot of just shelves and then clutter. I really like the look of having them all together. And I don't really normally have a lot of white kitchens either, like painted white cabinets with a white countertop. So I tried to avoid those. This house ends up looking a little dark, but I think I balance it out later on. This house is also in Brindleton Bay, and so I tried to pull in a lot of the like cats and dogs and more of like a laundry day, almost boho, but not quite, if that makes sense. I try to use as few packs as possible, but I have all of them, so it kind of gets out of hand a little bit, but I tried. We'll just say that. I kind of went with more of the open concept kitchen, dining, had to use this bench, so I put it outside. Kitchen, dining, living room area. And then it has 2 extra bedrooms, 2 full baths, and a office. I guess you could say the other bedroom would be more of a guest room. It ends up not having as much personality. I kind of left it plain, but that could be, you know, a room for a minimalist. This could be 2 adults sharing a house. This could be parents and an adult child. It could be anything. There's not a lot of there's no toys or anything, so I wouldn't say it was a kid, but it could be a house, because Brindleton Bay has a beach. It could be a house kind of near the beach that they rent out a room, you know? You never know. This living room went through about 6 different iterations of where the bookcases go, which bookcases do I use, how much room does the couch get, what lamp goes where. like I said, this took me 2 hours and I ended up changing almost everything afterwards. I really liked this kind of darkish gray with the brown with the little pops of blue. I tried to leave that as much as possible. So there's a blue stripe in those chairs by the fireplace. And then there is a blue in the bookcase and the coffee table and also in the rug. This is the bedroom that's going to look a little plain. The wall covering that I end up putting at the end helps a lot, I think, with it not looking so plain. The minimalist style that comes a lot in the Japanese-inspired Snowy Escapes, almost said Mount Komorebi. Snowy Escapes. Oh, this is me moving in my this is me moving in my sim. The minimalist style of Snowy Escapes ends up being really cool, but it tends to not have a lot of personality. But there's a lot of items that tend to have too much personality, so I think that it's a good blend to have with those kind of more loud objects. Like that bed is perfect. I think it's great. It's very reminiscent of my own bed at home, so I don't know if that's why I like to use it or what, but I kind of made that whole room like a warm, not beige, but like neutral pine, I guess would be the way to put it. And I tried, it has that giant window, so I tried to bring in, you know, keeping with the Asian theme of the bonsai tree. And then I realized I had forgotten all the clutter in the kitchen. I'm not a very organized builder. I end up just going through and doing random stuff as I think of it. So the flowers on the dining room table reminded me that I didn't put any clutter in the kitchen, so I kind of had to go back and put more clutter in the kitchen. There's a slight pink tinge in that laundry day rug, so I ended up going with the pink of the flowers. Realized that you can't have, I didn't want a TV without having the entertainment system underneath, because that's where I think of, like, you know, a DVR goes, or, you know, your little streaming box, or a DVD player, or any number of things could go in there. And it was looking a little dark. I always like to add that little, I don't even know what it'd be called, tray with the plant, because it has a plant and a light. It counts as a light source as well. So I really, really like the way that this is looking up. It is a little, not boring. That's not the word. Not color, what's the opposite of colorful? And it's not drab either. So I decided that I wanted to have a room that had some color, that had some fun. So I decided that the office would be that space. However, with that giant window, I kept having issues with trying to make it to where you could pull those closed if you wanted. But again, with all that natural light, gotta have some plants. I really love that nifty knitting desk. I think it's just so cute. But then I was thinking, natural light, why not have like a YouTube space? And then I immediately was like, no, I hate that. I want to go back to my really cutesy office. I just love that aesthetic so much more. And the floor plan actually has this bathroom as a full bathroom. So I'm not going off of that, because it being an apartment, I figured that this is like a roommate setup. I did want to make sure that everything was usable, so I did have a sim go in and use it all. But even though it's all squished together, it still does work. And there's no option in The Sims to put the toilet paper holder onto the vanity. Like, I actually have mine on the vanity, so I just switched them and put that on the wall. And I didn't end up putting a towel because there's one right there on that shelf. I've never actually built a house with a laundry room in it, even though I love the laundry day stuff, but I just never end up using it. I guess because I wouldn't, if it's in there, it causes your Sims to acquire dirty laundry. So I don't normally use it, because that's not something that I'm trying to keep up. If I'm working on like a 100 baby challenge, I probably could with my Super Sim, but still not really something I'm trying to add. This is where I get a little bit off of the floor plan. That closet that goes into what's going to be the next bedroom is actually in there, but there's like a weird empty space right next to it. So I was trying to figure out how to move around maybe put the toilet a little bit tucked back in there and make the laundry room bigger. There is a HVAC closet that I didn't feel like trying to figure out how to put in, so I decided to move the toilet into a little closet but further up, and then I kind of separated the shower and the toilet, and I end up putting a sink and a counter, which also is not a part of the floor plan, but it made a lot of sense, I think, for the room. I love the look of the counters together. I think they fit with the sink randomly. And there are other sinks that you can kind of put together that end up being kind of like that. I do like the little pops of blue with that more orange, the orangey wood. I don't know how you would call that. The orange undertones to the wood. This whole house, the bedrooms and bathrooms are very warm, and then the living room and dining are very cool. I don't know how that happened. This is my favorite bed in the game. So I always try to use it. I never paired it with these Parenthood nightstands before, but I really like the way that the blue almost matches, but not quite. And then I wanted to put, like, there were two different personalities. One likes the really antique look of, like, his grandmother's lamp from Cats and Dogs. And then the other side is more of, like, a hippie with a lotus flower that thinks it might bring her some peace while she's sleeping. I ended up, later on, going back and putting in more light sources, taking out those little subtle saucers that I had put in before. I like to have, in my own house, I don't ever turn on overhead light if I can help it. I'm very much like string lights or, you know, maybe a pendant light here and there, but not a harsh, like, fluorescent if I can help it. I love a lamp. But it's not as easy in The Sims to do that kind of thing. But I tried my best. I really like what I've done with this house so far. I haven't really put a lot of things on the walls because I tend to build without them, but I ended up doing the walls, including the paint colors and decorations, and the floors at the end. Normally I go room by room, but I just kind of wanted the house to go together. I wanted to see the pieces inside before I decided which color scheme to go with. I don't even know how I ended up with it being warm toned instead of cool toned, but I really like the way it turned out. I don't know whose office that is. That office is my dream office, is what it is. It's so cute and mint. And then I love having kind of like a spa experience in the bathroom, or it's either got to be spa tiles or just like the most natural looking tiles that I can have. And then now is the time when I go through and add in all the pictures, all of the, you know, decorations. I love using things that have lights included in them, like that mirror, and then there's the tree. I don't know what pack that's from, actually. But I figure since these are more adult rooms, I didn't really end up putting a lot of, like, posters. Everything has a frame, if I can help it. I did put some tapestries on the wall because those are timeless, and I will fight you on that one. Yes, they're a little hippie, but they're not like college dorm room anymore, I don't think. I think they have grown a little bit out of that, what would be the word? Reputation. I also decided to go with like a kind of neutral-ish wood for the patios, front and back. I went with this dark railing to go with to kind of juxtapose the lightness of the brick. I don't end up putting any landscaping in right now because I was like, I've already built and decorated the entire house. I'm good. I'm done. I I love having the light wood with a dark metal roof. I think that the way this roof line is, it's very farmhouse. So I ended up kind of leaning in heavily to that.
So thank you everybody so much for watching. I will leave you with this slideshow a la middle school report for the house that I built from scratch on my own, which might not seem like a big accomplishment to those established simmers, but is a big accomplishment to me. Thank you so much for being here for this build episode. I have more of these on my channel. Feel free to look at them. There's a whole playlist of them. I hope to see you again. I hope you have a great rest of your holiday season, whatever holiday you celebrate. I hope to see you again back here. Stay safe. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy gaming.